I want to talk about the diagnosis of MD, and I want you to talk about that as you feel comfortable doing. Just tell us about this journey that you've been on since that time.
Well, it's an extremely long journey in the last 3 or 4 years. I've learned more than I could have ever imagined. It's kind of been a blessing and a stab in the back at the same time kind of thing. But in 2016, I got the diagnosis. But from the moment I graduated college, I had this like right pec started to deteriorate, and I had no idea why. And like when I saw my shirt off, I had like a cutout of muscle basically, and ended up being like, all right, maybe it's just a nerve entrapment or something, and it'll go away. That was kind of like the first year. And then the second year, I was like, all right, it's getting worse, so I need to figure out what's going on, and started going to doctors. So the next 4 or 5 years, I went all over the country trying to figure out what it was, and admitted myself to Mayo Clinic and for 5 days. And I was like, all right, look, I want you to do every test known to man. I don't care if insurance covers it or not, just do it. And at the end, I remember, I'll never forget, I was laying in the bed and 8 doctors came around me and were like, look, we have no idea what it is. We're sorry, kind of thing. Like, good luck. I was like, all right, this is just depressing kind of. And then, I mean, a million other stories like that, doctors telling me, oh, that it's this, and it ended up not being that, and saying like, oh, I just cured you, you're fine. Call me in 3 weeks, your muscle will be grown back. And it ended up being very disappointing, the way that I was treated by doctors in the States here, kind of as like just another patient, you know. And I think a lot of people feel that way, unfortunately. So that kind of lit a fire under me to look at other options, instead of just going and getting shots or a surgery or taking a pill. I was like, all right, there's got to be something else in the world that can help me. So finally I went to this neurologist in New York City, and he was like, I think you have some form of muscular dystrophy. Let me test for it. I was like, all right, whatever, man. Like, you're an idiot, you know, like, here, take my blood. It's not going to be that. So like, he's like, all right, I'll call you in like 3 weeks. And 6 months go by and I haven't heard anything. And finally he called me, and it was like a 1-minute phone call. And he's like, hey, yeah, we got your diagnosis back, and it's positive for FSH-MD. I was like, well, what is that? And he's like, it's a rare form of muscular dystrophy. I was like, all right, what do I do? And he's like, there's no cure. I was like, all right, what does that mean? He's like, I don't know. Good luck. It's like, all right, this is like, I wanted to just yell into the phone and break things. And so that's when I started my journey to look outside the country and for natural healing, and educating myself on diet, nutrition, and meditation, and breathing, and anything natural that kind of could and has healed people. And it brought me to my first attempt at like changing my diet, was from a guy named Dr. Robert Morse. He's a doctor that really promotes heavy cleansing of the body when you have an ailment. He's notorious for curing cancer. And he believes, and I believe now, that the body is extremely self-healing. And if you put it in the right environment, then it will heal itself. It's just like you take a knife and cut yourself here. Like, you don't have to do anything to it. It's just going to heal. Your blood coagulates and heals itself, and, you know, the cells regenerate. And it's really an amazing accomplishment that our body can do on its own. So all the doctors and naturopaths that I worked with say that this disease has been turned on genetically by something in your environment, whether it's inside of you or outside of you or in your head. And so what that meant to me was like, all right, maybe it's from the pesticides on the golf course, or maybe it's my mindset. I'm stressed about something. I want to be better at golf and I'm not, or like maybe I'm eating like shit, which I was in college. We were eating Buffalo Wild Wings and
I didn't send you there. All right.
yeah, no, you didn't. Yeah, so I changed my ways and ended up starting this cleanse, and which basically was just fruit. And I saw a lot of great things happening, and everything was progressing, and I was cleansing my body of many things that have been backed up for years, and saw my skin changing and my tongue changing, my eyes changing colors, and it was really cool. And then Chelsea, my wife, she's very philanthropic and always wanted to go help like kids on her own, and do it on her own. So I set her up in Nepal, and she went and helped the victims from that huge earthquake over there, and spent weeks over there with kids and staying at Sean's mom's hotel. And ironically, she was having dinner one night and sitting next to this doctor who was talking to Sangeeta, Sean's mom, and he was working with a patient who was staying in the hotel that had muscular dystrophy and Parkinson's, and he was in a wheelchair for the last like 20 years. And within 2 weeks of working with this doctor, if you call it that, he's a guru who lives up in the Himalayan mountains. And within 2 weeks, he started walking again and was eating and talking normal, and it was incredible. So Chelsea called me and was like, hey, if like you think this cleanse isn't working right now or whatever, I think you should really come over here. This is pretty impressive what he's doing. And he feels very confident about muscular dystrophy. So I called my guy, Dr. Robert Morse here, and I was like, look, how long is this going to take? I want to get back on tour. Like, can you cure my muscular dystrophy quick? Whatever. He's like, I don't know. It can take 2 months. It can take 2 years of cleansing. And I was like, all right, well, I didn't think I had that time then. So I rushed over to Nepal and it was a 90-day treatment every day for 6 hours a day. I was on like a table and they were doing all this herb work, covering me in herbs. I was taking different herbs as well, orally. And it was one of the toughest things I've ever done, and very mentally trying and physically. And in the end, like 2 months in, I kind of wanted to quit because I didn't really see anything going on. And he promised me I'd see results within 2 weeks. He's like, just come for 2 weeks, and if it doesn't work, then you can leave. I was like, all right, well, 2 months in, nothing was happening. So I was like, shit, what do I do? I talked to Chelsea. She came over to be with me for a little bit, which was huge because it was getting tough. And she was like, look, if you don't stay, you're going to forever regret this and be like, all right, what if kind of thing. And the last month, like things, I felt muscle fibers started firing again, and it was very exciting. So after that, I think I can say it kind of halted the progression or the atrophy, and which was huge, like I don't think that's ever really been done. And now I'm on a journey of trying to completely reverse it. And I know that can be done, because if a gene can be turned on, it can be turned off. And through all my studying and research, I've even met people who have completely changed their genetic structure, changed their DNA, have grown things back, have gotten tumors to pop out of their body without surgery. I met a woman who had a brain tumor, who was given 2 weeks to live by these Western doctors, and went to this doctor I'm working with, and within 40 days she was completely clear of the tumor. So it's been an amazing journey, and now I've been going back and forth from Costa Rica to do different types of herbal plant-based treatment, which is something completely different than I could ever imagine. And it's more about connecting back to the earth kind of spiritually, and these plants like really open your mind and open your neural pathways to, like, it's really different dimensions. It's things that I never really thought were possible. And it's incredible. I think that I kind of it was meant for me to happen this way. And I'm 30 years old, and I have made a decision to, stop golf until I cure myself. I'm like a guinea pig, I'm not taking any money from anybody. I'm just exhausting all my options and kind of experimenting with my own body all over the world. And I think one day I know I'm going to have the answer, and that's why we've built our foundation.
Yeah, would you tell the listeners about your foundation, because this journey story has been amazing, how you've gotten to this point, but I'd love to also for them to hear about what you've done with the foundation.
Yeah, so that's right after I got diagnosed. I think anybody getting diagnosed with anything is like goes through a period of kind of why me thoughts, and I think that's normal. But after that, my mind was like, all right, I have a great platform here. I had Chelsea, who kind of really helped me go through this and think about what we can do. And we ended up starting the Morgan Hoffmann Foundation and trying to raise money to build a health and wellness center dedicated to helping muscular dystrophy patients. But not only that, I want through this crazy journey, I want to really educate people how they can heal naturally. And we want to educate them on how to do that. And it's a huge process of unlearning. We're brought up to eat milk, from cows, and we're brought up to be eating steaks and having soda and pizza, and literally all that stuff is carcinogenic and killing your body and making your body acidic. And it basically comes down to a simple equation of science, really, which is, in science class in 6th grade, you have an acid and you have a base, like your body is very similar. If it's too acidic, things are going to start happening and growing, and your body will start trying to heal itself. And that's basically what cancer and diseases are. Any type of disease, really, your body's too acidic and it's forming things that the Western world thinks is bad, but really it's just trying to get rid of something bad in your body. So if you transition that and your environment and what you're eating into a base and non-acidic foods, then your body will allow itself to heal. And it's just an amazing thing. And that's why we want to create this health and wellness center. We're not exactly sure where yet, but we've raised a bunch of money and have some great doctors and healers and people that we're working with, and it's going to be very, very special, I think.